All right, welcome back, mathematicians. It's your favorite teacher here, Coach Bartos, with a new, fun, and exciting lesson. Today, we're talking about ordering numbers. Okay, there's two things you're going to need for this lesson. The first is your virtual notebook. I put a link to your virtual notebook and instructions on how you can make a copy and save it. Okay, there's a page that goes with these notes that has some blanks that you can fill in or type in as I discuss. The second is an online calculator. Okay, you don't need to use the online calculator. You can use the calculator on your phone. So you need to access the scientific calculator. Usually, to do that, you can just turn your calculator sideways and it'll enter scientific calculator mode. If not, I put a link to an online calculator. This is the Desmos calculator. Actually, this is what I'm about to go over. But anyway, once you click that link, it should look like this. You've got all your regular calculator buttons right here. The only button you'll need from the scientific portion is this radical sign or this square root sign. Okay. Here, let me actually clear this while we're here. All right, so let's get started. Here are our objectives. So by the end of this lesson, you will know how to order a set of real numbers arising from mathematical and real world contexts. You will understand that all real numbers can be converted to decimal form, and you will be able to explain the steps necessary for ordering numbers. All right, so here's where you can start to fill in the blanks on your virtual notebook. So when we're ordering numbers, okay, there's only 3 steps we need. And because in the 8th grade we can use a calculator, these steps are extremely easy. The first step is we're going to convert all numbers into decimal form. Okay, and this is very easy with a calculator. I'm going to show you how to do it in just a second. After we convert all those numbers to decimal form, we move on to step 2, which is place the numbers in order from least to greatest or from greatest to least. There's 2 ways we can order our numbers. We can go from least to greatest or smallest to biggest, or from greatest to least, from biggest to smallest. And that all depends on what the question's asking us for. Okay. And then we move on to step 3 is we're going to write the original numbers in order. So however the numbers are originally presented to us, we're going to rewrite them, but we're going to put them in order, either from least to greatest or from greatest to least. All right, so let's look at an example. So here, it wants us to place the following numbers in order from least to greatest. So it's telling us we want to order these numbers from smallest to biggest. Okay, and so here is our set of numbers right here. So if I look at these numbers, they're given to me in a lot of different ways, right? I've got some fractions, I've got some percents, I've got one that's already in decimal form, so that's cool. And then I've got this guy right here, this radical sign or the square root sign. Okay, so I need to order these from least to greatest. So to do that, I'm going to follow my 3 steps. So remember, step 1 is convert all numbers to decimal form. Okay, I don't need to guess because I can use my calculator. Okay, so I'm going to go one number at a time. So I'm going to start with my first number, which is 1/4. Remember, a fraction, all that is a division problem. This 1/4, really what it's saying is 1 divided by 4. So if I go to my calculator and I type 1 divided by 4, okay, it tells me that that is 0.25 or 25 hundredths. So there's my decimal form right there. Okay, so 1/4 as a decimal is 25 hundredths or 0.25. 75%. Okay, so to convert a percent to a decimal, there's a couple ways I can do it. If you remember from the 7th grade, the easiest way we converted percents to decimals was by moving that decimal 2 times to the left. So in 75%, that's a whole number. So my decimal's right here behind this 5. If I move that to the left 2 times, 1, 2, I get 0.75. Okay. Another way we can do that, because we have a calculator, okay, if I'm unsure which way I need to move my decimal or where my decimal is, remember, percents are out of 100. Okay, percents are out of 100. So what that means is if I go to my calculator, I want to convert 75% to a decimal. So I'm going to take that 75, divide it by 100, because percents are out of 100, and I get 0.75. So we can either move the decimal 2 times to the left, or we can divide our percent by 100, because all percents are out of 100. All right, so now we move on to our third number, which is that 0.04. Well, that's already in decimal form. I don't need to do anything with that. So that stays 0.04. 10%. Okay, again, percents are out of 100. So if I'm unsure what to do with my decimal, I can just take that 10, divide it by 100, and I get 0.1 or 0.10 or 1/10. Our second to last number, this 9/7, remember, here's a fraction. So all that is a division problem. So if I go to my calculator and I do 9 divided by 7, I get this long decimal. I don't need to write this whole thing. I'm only going to go maybe 3 numbers after my decimal. All right, so 1.285. And I put those dots there because that means it just keeps going. And then I have my last number, square root of 16. Okay, and so this is why we need the scientific function in our calculator, because all I need to do is go to my radical or square root sign, hit that. I want the square root of 16, which is 4. And I know that because 4 times 4 gives me 16. So we've completed step 1. All right, we've rewritten all of our numbers in decimal form. Okay, so now we're going to move on to step 2. So step 2 says we need to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. Remember, the original problem wanted us to go from least to greatest. Okay, so here's all my numbers in decimal form. So this is what I'm going to use to order these numbers. So I want the smallest number first. Okay, so if I look here, and if I'm struggling ordering these decimals, think money. Okay, so if I look here I've got a quarter. Here I've got 75 cents. Here I've got 4 cents, or just 4 pennies. Here I've got a dime, or 10 cents, right? Well, here I'm moving up. I've got over $1. I've got $1.28.5, or $1 if I round up, $1.29. And here I've got 4 whole dollars, or 4.0. So I want my smallest number first. Well, my smallest amount of money was this 4 cents, so this 0.04, right? So I'm going to put a first next to that, because that's the number I'm going to put first when I order these numbers. My second smallest, or what would come after that 0.04, would be my dime, right? That 10 cents. That's my second smallest. So I'm going to put a second next to that 0.10 or 0.1. So my third smallest would be this quarter, or 0.25, right? So I'm going to put a third next to that 0.25. And so if I look at my remaining numbers, I can see this 75 cents would come next. So I'm going to put a fourth next to that 0.75. And so after that 0.75 would come my $1.28, or $1.29, or 1.285. So I'm going to put a fifth next to that. And so then my biggest number is obviously going to be this 4.0, 4 whole. So I'm going to put a sixth next to that 4. Okay, so step 1 and 2 are done. Now I'm going to write the original numbers in order. So here are my original numbers. These are what I started with. So when I rewrite these, I need to make sure I'm rewriting my original numbers. Okay, so here's my first one, that 0.04. Well, that was already in decimal form, right? So that can stay 0.04. My second number, where is it? Was this 0.10 or 0.1? Well, my original number is this 10%. My third number was 0.25, but the original number was 1/4, or 1/4. My fourth number was 0.75, which was originally 75%. My fifth number was 1.285, which started out, or was originally 9/7, or 9 over 7. And then my biggest number or sixth number was 4 wholes or 4.0, which originally was the square root of 16. So when I rewrite them, I'm going to rewrite them in their original form, how they were originally presented to me or originally given to me. Okay. So that's important because on a test, when they ask you to order these numbers on your answer choices, it will always have this original form. Remember, if it's a decimal, okay, we didn't change anything there. So when we rewrite it, obviously we're going to keep that decimal because that's how it was originally given to us. All right. So let's talk about a couple vocabulary terms you're going to need to know. All right. The first is ascending. Okay. Ascending. The second is descending. So think about a mountain or a hill. If I'm ascending, I'm going up, right? If I'm descending, I'm going down. So ascending means we're going from least to greatest, from smallest to biggest. So descending is just the opposite, right? Descending would be from greatest to least. Okay. So ascending, I'm going up. I'm starting with my least number. I'm ascending or going up to my biggest number. Descending, I'm doing the opposite. I'm going down that mountain. I'm starting with my biggest number and I'm descending or going down to my smallest number. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I will provide you guys with 3 examples on how to order these numbers that will help you on your assignments. Until next time, guys. See ya.